For years, I was living an unmotivated existence, merely going through the motions. I felt like a ship dead in the water, my ambitions a distant pie in the sky. Each day was a futile exercise in spinning my wheels, a grand dog and pony show where I was just going through the paces, utterly behind the 8 ball. I was burning the candle at both ends for nothing. My potential, a sleeping giant. I was too complacent to awaken. It was a comfortable, soul-crushing rut, and I had become a permanent bench warmer in my own life, watching others succeed while I simply kept my head above water. But a line was finally crossed. A quiet realization turned into a roaring fire within, a definitive refusal to let my life be a ware flash in the pan. I understood that waiting for a bolt from the blue was a fool's errand. Destiny doesn't knock, you have to build the door. So I decided the ball was in my court. It was my turn to rise. I made a conscious choice to grab the bull by the horns and stop being a cog in the wheel of my own mediocrity. The shift was a quantum leap. I stopped resting on my laurels. I never truly earned and started getting my ducks in a row, and I knew the path wouldn't be a bed of roses. There would be blood, sweat, and tears. There have been moments that felt like a kick in the teeth, days where I felt like a fish out of water, stretched far beyond my comfort zone. But with every setback, I learned to separate the wheat from the chaff, focusing only on what propelled me forward. Now I hit the ground running every single day. I go the extra mile, so without a second thought, because excellence is now my habit, not an accident. The fire in my belly is real, and I am hell-bent on turning my once distant castles in the air into a fortress on solid ground. I've learned to strike while the iron is hot, seizing opportunities with grit and gratitude. This journey is my phoenix rising from the ashes, a powerful rebirth from the ashes of apathy. I am finally in my element, no longer drifting but driving purposefully toward my goals, ready to take the world by storm and claim my place among the best. The time for waiting is over. The time for rising is now. Your turn to rise. Every once in a while something happens that reminds us what's truly possible. Something that wakes us up, that reminds us that no dream is too big, no fight is too hard, and no goal is out of reach. Zohran Mamdani's victory as mayor of New York City is one of those moments. Because this isn't just about one man winning an election. It's about what happens when someone dares to believe, really believe, that change is possible. He didn't come from money. He didn't have a big machine behind him. He had a vision. He had heart. And he had the courage to keep going, even when it got hard, even when people doubted him. And that's the message I want you to take with you today. You have that same power inside you. You have the power to turn your ideas into reality. You have the power to rise, no matter how many times you fall. You have the power to write your own story and make it something incredible. Listen, success doesn't happen overnight. It's not a straight line. It's messy, it's exhausting, and most of the time, it feels impossible until it isn't. Every great story, every great leader, every great success starts the same way, with someone who refused to quit. So maybe right now you're struggling. Maybe you've been told you're not enough. Maybe you're tired or scared, or you failed more times than you can count. But here's the truth. You're still here. And that means your story isn't over yet. You still have time. You still have potential. You still have a fire inside you, even if it's just a spark right now. Zohran's story proves something powerful. You don't need permission to dream big. You don't need to wait for the right time. You just have to start right where you are with what you have. Because the real difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent. It isn't luck. It's persistence. It's getting up one more time than you fall. So today I want you to promise yourself something. Promise that you'll keep going. Promise that you'll stop underestimating what you can do. Promise that no matter how hard it gets, you'll remember why you started. Because one day, when you've made it, when you're standing on your own mountaintop, you'll look back and realize every struggle was worth it. Every no led you to your yes. And every fall was just preparing you to rise higher. Your time is coming. Your dream is real. And the world needs your light. So stand tall. Work hard. And never ever stop believing. Because if Zohran Mamdani can do it, so can you. It is not just a victory for one individual. It is a triumph for the very spirit of this city. A city built on diversity, on inclusion, on the idea that no matter where you come from, no matter your background, you deserve a voice, you deserve opportunity, and you deserve to thrive. Zohran Mamdani's victory is a testament to the power of hope, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of justice. His campaign was not just about politics, it was about people. It was about listening to those who have been forgotten, elevating those whose voices have been suppressed for far too long. From the tenants in Astoria to the workers in Sunset Park, Zohran has heard your concerns and understood your struggles. His journey to this moment is not just a reflection of his commitment to the people of this city, but also a symbol of what it means to fight for a fairer, more equitable future. Zohran's story is one of perseverance, vision, and unwavering dedication to the core values that make New York City great. For too long, we have seen our city struggle with inequality, displacement, and a political system that often feels distant and unresponsive. But today, we have someone in leadership who understands that change doesn't come from the top down. It comes from the ground up. It comes from the voices of everyday people coming together to demand a city that serves us all. Zohran Mamdani is not just a mayor for the powerful or the privileged. He is the mayor for the everyday New Yorker, for the teacher trying to make a difference in their classroom, for the nurse working long shifts in our hospitals, for the small business owner fighting to stay afloat, for the family struggling to make rent, and for the young dreamer who believes that New York City can be a place of limitless opportunity. In his victory, Zohran has proven that when we come together, when we work with compassion and vision, anything is possible. His win is a declaration that we are ready for change, change that reflects our shared values of justice, equity, and sustainability. But let us not forget, this victory is not the end, it is just the beginning. As mayor, Zohran Mamdani will face challenges, but with his integrity, his dedication, and his relentless drive for social justice, there is no doubt that he will lead this city toward a brighter, more inclusive future. Rama Duwaji, who is the wife of NYC's Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. At 28, Rama Duwaji will be the youngest First Lady New York City has ever had, thrust into the spotlight as her husband, Zohran Mamdani, won the mayoral race on Tuesday night. And in his victory speech, the mayor-elect had a special shout-out for his wife standing beside him. "And to my incredible wife, Rama, Hayati," he said, using the Arabic word for my life. "There is no one I would rather have by my side in this moment and in every moment." Duwaji is a New York-based artist with Syrian roots whose work often explores Middle Eastern themes. Her work has appeared on BBC News and in the New York Times, the Washington Post, Vice, and London's Tate Modern Museum. Rama isn't just my wife. She's an incredible artist who deserves to be known on her own terms. Mamdani wrote in a post on 12th of May announcing they had been married 3 months earlier. Trump melts down as Republicans suffer massive losses everywhere. She's real," Duwaji joked in a comment on that post. The couple met on dating app Hinge, so there is still hope in those dating apps, Mamdani said in an interview with The Bulwark. She was rarely seen at the start of her husband's election campaign, leading opponents to claim that the 34-year-old state assemblyman was hiding his wife. Her absence was notable, given that US candidates often put their spouses on full display to show off their commitment to family values. Mamdani addressed the criticism over his wife's absence in his May post, which included a series of photos showing their marriage at the New York City clerk's office. If you take a look at Twitter today, or any day for that matter, you know how vicious politics can be, he wrote. I usually brush it off, whether it's death threats or calls for me to be deported. But it's different when it's about those you love. You can critique my views, but not my family. Dowaji opted to stay out of the spotlight, even as her husband's profile ballooned, but is said to have been a driving force behind the scenes, according to CNN. She was among those who finalized Mamdani's brand identity, including the bold iconography and font used on his yellow, orange, and blue campaign materials, it said. Dowaji was born in Houston, Texas, and moved to Dubai when she was 9 years old before briefly going to school in Qatar. Her parents are Syrian Muslims originally from Damascus, according to Arabic media. Despite largely steering clear of the cameras, several of Dowaji's friends have gushed about her in interviews amid speculation about her role in a Mamdani administration. She's our modern-day Princess Diana, one friend, Hasnin Bhatti, declared to the New York Times last month. Others described Dowaji as being excited but overwhelmed by the growing attention, the NY Post reported. Dowaji graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University before earning a master's degree in illustration from the School of Visual Arts in New York City. Using drawn portraiture and movement, Rama examines the nuances of sisterhood and communal experiences. Ms. Dowaji's professional website reads, much of her work is in black and white and depicts scenes from the Arab world. Ms. Dowaji herself was born in Texas and is ethnically Syrian, a campaign spokesman told the New York Times. In 2022, her works appeared in the BBC World Service documentary Who Killed My Grandfather that investigated the assassination of a Yemeni politician in 1974. Some of her works listed on Instagram criticize American imperialism, what she called Israeli war crimes, and denounce the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, mirroring some of her husband's policy positions. Israel emphatically denies accusations of genocide in Gaza. Her works also show support for Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University graduate that the Trump administration is seeking to deport over claims that his work advocating for Palestinians amounts to anti-Semitism towards Jews. The Brooklyn-based artist spent most of the coronavirus pandemic in Dubai, where her family lives, she said in an April interview with website Young. In that interview, she was asked about recent events in the Middle East, the return to the White House of Donald Trump, and sharp uptick in immigration raids. I'm not going to lie, things are dark right now in NYC, she said. I worry for my friends and family, and things feel completely out of my hands. With so many people being pushed out and silenced by fear, all I can do is use my voice to speak out about what's happening in the US and Palestine and Syria as much as I can, she added. She was also asked about the responsibility that artists have to speak out about global issues. An artist's duty, as far as I'm concerned, is to reflect the times, she said, quoting musician Nina Simone. I believe everyone has a responsibility to speak out against injustice, and art has such an ability to spread it, she continued. I don't think everybody has to make political work, but art is inherently political in how it's made, funded, and shared. Even creating art as a refuge from the horrors we see is political to me. It's a reaction to the world around us. Zohran Mamdani comes from a family of thinkers and truth-tellers, a mother who fought with a camera, a father who fought with ideas, and a son who fights with action. Mother Deepa Mehta, oh, she's a world-renowned Indian-Canadian filmmaker known for her powerful movies like Fire, Earth, and Water. Oh, her films often challenge injustice, patriarchy, and social inequality, themes that clearly shaped Zohran's own activism. Oh, Deepa Mehta is respected globally for her courage to speak truth through art, even when it sparked controversy. Father Mahmoud Mamdani. Oh, he's a Ugandan-born academic and author, one of Africa's leading political thinkers. Oh, a professor at Columbia University. His work focuses on colonialism, identity, and justice. Oh, his writings and worldview taught Zohran the importance of understanding history and fighting for equality. Campaign comparison. Mamdani fights for the people. Trump's party fights to control the people. Billionaires fight to own the system. Zohran Mamdani runs grassroots, people-powered campaigns, funded by small donors, focused on housing, justice, and equality, speaks directly to working-class and young progressive voters. Trump's party, MAGA Republicans, runs media-driven, emotion-heavy campaigns, funded by wealthy donors and PACs, focuses on nationalism, anti-establishment anger, and America First themes. Billionaires don't campaign, they fund campaigns, use their money to shape politics behind the scenes, protect wealth, and influence both parties through lobbying and super PACs. Strongly anti-Islamophobia and vocal about ending discrimination against Muslims, challenges media and political narratives that label Muslims as terrorists, promotes solidarity, justice, and inclusion, defends Muslim and immigrant communities, speaks out for Palestinian rights and against surveillance or profiling of Muslims in New York. Zohran Mamdani is a progressive New York State Assembly member who strongly supports Palestinian rights and criticizes Israeli government policies. He rejects anti-Semitism and often states that opposing certain Israeli actions does not mean being anti-Jewish. Many progressive Jewish groups, such as Jewish Voice for Peace and If Not Now, support his human rights stance, while more pro-Israel organizations like AIPAC oppose him. Mamdani has declared that if elected mayor of New York City, he would direct the city's police to arrest Netanyahu if he comes into the city. He bases this on a warrant issued by the International Criminal Court, ICC, for alleged war crimes in Gaza, and says the city should stand up for international law. He is explicit that he would not create new laws for this, but would exhaust every legal option under existing law. The success story of Zohran Mamdani, a lesson for the youth. Zohran Mamdani's journey proves that you don't need power or privilege to create change, just purpose and courage. Born to immigrant parents from Uganda and India, Mamdani grew up in New York City, surrounded by struggle, diversity, and dreams. Instead of chasing fame or money, he chose to stand for people who had no voice: renters, immigrants, and working families. When he ran for office, many said he couldn't win. A young socialist, Muslim candidate in a system dominated by the powerful. But Mamdani didn't give up. He went door to door, spoke directly to people, and built trust through truth. His victory wasn't powered by billionaires or big donors. It was powered by belief, honesty, and community. The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery by handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty. I wish Andrew Cuomo only the best in private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name, as we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few. New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change, a mandate for a new kind of politics, a mandate for a city we can afford, and a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City, and that is because of you. So before I say anything else, I must say this. Thank you. Thank you to the next generation of New Yorkers who refused to accept that the promise of a better future was a relic of the past. You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you. Or, as we say on Steinway, Ana minkum wa ilaykum. Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point, know this. This city is your city and this democracy is yours too. This campaign is about people like Wesley, an 1199 organizer I met outside of Elmhurst Hospital on Thursday night, a New Yorker who lives elsewhere, who commutes 2 hours each way from Pennsylvania because rent is too expensive in this city. It's about people like the woman I met on the BX33 years ago who said to me, I used to love New York, but now it's just where I live. And it's about people like Richard, the taxi driver I went on a 15-day hunger strike with outside of City Hall, who still has to drive his cab 7 days a week. My brother, we are in City Hall now. This victory is for all of them, and it's for all of you. The more than 100,000 volunteers who built this campaign into an unstoppable force. Because of you, we will make this city one that working people can love and live in again. With every door knocked, every petition signature earned, and every hard-earned conversation, you eroded the cynicism that has come to define our politics. Now, I know that I have asked for much from you over this last year. Time and again, you have answered my calls. But I have one final request, New York City. Breathe this moment in. We have held our breath for longer than we know. We have held it in anticipation of defeat, held it because the air has been knocked out of our lungs too many times to count, held it because we cannot afford to exhale. Thanks to all of those who sacrificed so much, we are breathing in the air of a city that has been reborn. To my campaign team, who believed when no one else did and who took an electoral project and turned it into so much more, I will never be able to express the depth of my gratitude. You can sleep now. To my parents, Mama and Baba, you have made me into the man I am today. I am so proud to be your son. And to my incredible wife, Rama, there is no one I would rather have by my side in this moment and in every moment. To every New Yorker, whether you voted for me, for one of my opponents, or felt too disappointed by politics to vote at all, thank you for the opportunity to prove myself worthy of your trust. I will wake each morning with a singular purpose, to make this city better for you than it was the day before. There are many who thought this day would never come, who feared that we would be condemned only to a future of less, with every election consigning us simply to more of the same. And there are others who see politics today as too cruel for the flame of hope to still burn. New York, we have answered those fears. Tonight, we have spoken in a clear voice. Hope is alive. Hope is a decision that tens of thousands of New Yorkers make day after day, volunteer shift after volunteer shift, despite attack ad after attack ad. More than 1 million of us stood in our churches, in gymnasiums, in community centers, as we filled in the ledger of democracy. And while we cast our ballots alone, we chose hope together. Hope over tyranny, hope over big money and small ideas, hope over despair. We won because New Yorkers allowed themselves to hope that the impossible could be made possible. And we won because we insisted that no longer would politics be something that is done to us. Now it is something that we do. Standing before you, I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes, but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new. So let us speak now in clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood about what this new age will deliver and for whom. This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt. Central to that vision will be the most ambitious agenda to tackle the cost of living crisis that this city has seen since the days of Fiorello LaGuardia. An agenda that will freeze the rents for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal childcare across our city. Years from now, may our only regret be that this day took so long to come. This new age will be one of relentless improvement. We will hire thousands more teachers. We will cut waste from a bloated bureaucracy. We will work tirelessly to make lights shine again in the hallways of NYCHA developments, where they have long flickered. Safety and justice will go hand in hand as we work with police officers to reduce crime and create a department of community safety that tackles the mental health crisis and homelessness crisis head on. Excellence will become the expectation across government, not the exception. In this new age we make for ourselves, we will refuse to allow those who traffic in division and hate to pit us against one another. In this moment of political darkness, New York will be the light. Here, we believe in standing up for those we love. Whether you are an immigrant, a member of the trans community, one of the many black women that Donald Trump has fired from a federal job, a single mom still waiting for the cost of groceries to go down, or anyone else with their back against the wall, your struggle is ours too, and we will build a city hall that stands steadfast alongside Jewish New Yorkers and does not waver in the fight against the scourge of anti-Semitism, where the more than 1 million Muslims know that they belong, not just in the 5 boroughs of this city, but in the halls of power. No more will New York be a city where you can traffic in Islamophobia and win an election. This new age will be defined by a competence and a compassion that have too long been placed at odds with one another. We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about. For years, those in City Hall have only helped those who can help them. But on January 1st, we will usher in a city government that helps everyone. Now, I know that many have heard our message only through the prism of misinformation. Tens of millions of dollars have been spent to redefine reality and to convince our neighbors that this new age is something that should frighten them. As has so often occurred, the billionaire class has sought to convince those making $30 an hour that their enemies are those earning $20 an hour. They want the people to fight amongst ourselves so that we remain distracted from the work of remaking a long broken system. We refuse to let them dictate the rules of the game anymore. They can play by the same rules as the rest of us. Together, we will usher in a generation of change. And if we embrace this brave new course, rather than fleeing from it. We can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks. We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed. New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant. So hear me, President Trump, when I say this, to get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us. When we enter City Hall in 58 days, expectations will be high. We will meet them. A great New Yorker once said that while you campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. If that must be true, let the prose we write still rhyme, and let us build a shining city for all. And we must chart a new path, as bold as the one we have already traveled. After all, the conventional wisdom would tell you that I am far from the perfect candidate. I am young, despite my best efforts to grow older. I am Muslim. I am a democratic socialist. And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of this. And yet, if tonight teaches us anything, it is that convention has held us back. We have bowed at the altar of caution, and we have paid a mighty price. Too many working people cannot recognize themselves in our party, and too many among us have turned to the right for answers to why they have been left behind. We will leave mediocrity in our past. No longer will we have to open a history book for proof that Democrats can dare to be great. Our greatness will be anything but abstract. It will be felt by every rent-stabilized tenant who wakes up on the 1st of every month, knowing the amount they're going to pay hasn't soared since the month before. It will be felt by each grandparent who can afford to stay in the home they have worked for and whose grandchildren live nearby because the cost of childcare didn't send them to Long Island. It will be felt by the single mother who is safe on her commute and whose bus runs fast enough that she doesn't have to rush school drop-off to make it to work on time. And it will be felt when New Yorkers open their newspapers in the morning and read headlines of success, not scandal. Most of all, it will be felt by each New Yorker when the city they love finally loves them back. Together, New York, we're going to freeze rent. Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast. And together, New York, we're going to deliver universal childcare. Let the words we've spoken together, the dreams we've dreamt together, become the agenda we deliver together. New York, this power, it's yours. This city belongs to you. Thank you.